god, so context. What happened? I might as well just start the VOD here anyways. But what happened was, I was trying to reload the images, and because OBS was like freaking out from trying to reload all those images, it just crashed. So you can say that the boys destroyed my OBS. But anyways, I'm committing to this tangent. Because we brought this up, and now I have to see this come true. So let's bring back Lang. Let's put him here. Hi Lang. Hi. Wait. You said you wanted one more? That's the art they gave him? No! As if they couldn't make him any more perfect. This is the new official render they gave for Gumshoe. Look at this. Oh my god. This is the best day ever. This is my fantasy. Is this the real life or is it just fantasy? He's too dog-coded, I love it. This is my dream. This is my real dream. I need to make this happen, you know? I can't believe this is the actual new art that they have. So this is specifically like, whenever they have like the new trilogies or new collection games, they give all the characters new artwork, right? And this is the new official render for Gumshoe, which is great because Gumshoe's missing in the entire Apollo trilogy. Oh, what a dreamboat. We can't add one more. I haven't met him yet. He's gonna make me cry when we get to his case. But anyways, let's do this. Let's continue on. Let's start over again. Once again, the cords of steel. Today, and we're pretty much gonna start the stream at 11 again. This is definitely the stream of all time. I couldn't help myself. You know, once you start talking about Ace Attorney Men with me, I won't stop yapping. April 18th, 9:15 a.m. District Court. Defendant lobby, number 3. Oh my god, comment, no! The Great Ace Attorney Man, I'm gonna go crazy! Comment, you're making me, like, so think about actually streaming Great Ace Attorney, like, an encore run again. And I will do it. I will do it. You okay, Athena? You've been really antsy ever since we got here. I'm just excited. This is my first real court case after all. Yeah, a real ball of excitement she is. I know just what she needs. Athena! Ah! Didn't you ever learn about indoor and outdoor voices? I'm just trying to show you the best way to relieve your pre-trial jitters. By scaring the daylights out of me? No, I find that shouting, "I'm fine!" in a loud voice really relieves stress. It's part of my Cords of Steel voice workout, and a must before every trial. You want me to shout? Here? That's right. Here, I'll go first and then you try. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine! All right. I'm Athena Sykes, and I'm fine! I think that actually worked. I thought it might help. Always works for me. Wait, is this in-game voicing? No. Welcome in, Misaki. Can we please give Misaki a warm welcome for being new here in the chat? He's literally Kieran before stream. I think all the Ace Attorney protagonists are very me-coded, but I think Apollo's definitely me-coded. I'm fine suddenly reached past the moon, past the solar system, and somehow went into the ears of a quirky blonde detective. It transcended space and went back in time. An old friend of mine from junior high and I say it all the time. An old friend that I have a gigantic crush on that's super cute, and I might see in a future trial that's gonna break my heart. I see. A proven remedy to calm the soul. I like it. Hey, how about we finish this off with a race around the courthouse? The point is to relieve stress, not get totally exhausted. I feel like Athena would get so along well with Luke Lamont. Hi there. Hi there. What's with the racket, you two? Mr. Wright. Just a little voice workout. Hey, what's with this suit? Oh, this? I was just thinking about getting my attorney's badge back, that's all. That's all? That's huge news! But why now? Welcome in, Fireball. Hope you're doing good today. I have a feeling I'll be needed in the courtroom again sometime soon. But we can talk about that another time. No fair. Inquiring minds want to know. But, wow. I'm so used to him in his usual sexy hobo look that... Wait, they have a model for this? Why can't I put him in this model? That suit makes him look like $1 million. Yeah, the peace sweater. By the way, have you heard about the prosecutor assigned to this case? Yeah, he's serving time, but before that, he was a prosecutor. He also uses psychology? That's right. I've heard the rumors about how he was back before his conviction. Using the power of suggestion, he could make even the most stalwart defendants confess. Psychology in the courtroom. Been hearing a lot about that lately. So he must be a pretty scary guy, considering he's a prison inmate and all. So they say. They also say he'll cut you down if you talk too much. Oh, you're 100% right, Mimo. Drawn Hobohodo is like the pinnacle peak sexy. But like still. Yeah! I knew he was gonna be bad news! It's probably just hyperbole. At least I hope it's for your sake. Wait, so is it true or not? Let's just say you should be concise and choose your words carefully. If you'd like to keep that head of yours attached to your pretty little body, that is. Yikes! Better tone down my cords of steel, too. So, are you all ready? Might be a good idea to check the court record before stepping into the ring. Right, Mr. Wright. But, I'm fine. I'll be watching from the gallery. Good luck. Thanks! Okay, let's do this! The odds of pulling this off are ridiculously low, but that's nothing new. Believe in our client. Seek the truth. That's all we can do. Hang in there, Mayor Tenma. Here comes justice! April 18th, 9:30 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4.
Court is now in session for the trial of Damien Tenma.
Apollo Justice, defense team leader, is ready, Your Honor.
I know that big booming voice anywhere. As chipper as ever, eh, Mr. Justice? But, who is the young lady next to you?
I'm Athena Sykes, Mr. Justice's junior partner, and fresh out of law school.
Well now, full of beans.
Oh my god, Xenoblade!
You're really full of beans too, eh? Excellent. Makes an old man feel young again. I'm feeling full of beans. Now for the prosecution.
Oh, get ready, everyone.
It appears the prosecution is not ready yet. Never fear, for I shall explain. It's just a minor procedural complication, Your Honor. The prosecutor for this case is being escorted from prison as we speak. Prison? Oh, yes, of course. I almost forgot that he's currently serving time.
All right, everyone. Anime Daddy!
Yup, Prosecutor Blackquill's an inmate.
Must answer my calling.
There's so much blood in this game. No wonder this got rated M originally.
But even a convicted murderer still got a job to do and duties to perform.
Yes. All right, raise your hand if you love this man. Who's that with his back to us over there? That's him. I'm sure of it. Prosecutor Blackquill.
Is the prosecution ready? Enough jabbering. Get on with it already. Of course! Forgive me!
Why are all the people related to this case so scary? He's cool. I'd like to duel with him sometime. Sir, I'll be your sheath! Ditsenel! Pops in front of Kieran. Well, hello, tall, dark, and edgy. My name is Ash Frost. You can call me Ash, but you can call me your place.
What's the matter? Must we continue to fritter away time like this? Is it all right there in the... It's all right there in the indictment. An opening statement would be pointless. Pointless? Oh, well...
Looks like the cat, or in this case, the prosecutor, has the judge's tongue.
But we need an opening statement as an overview of the case at hand. Well then, your baldness. If it's so very important, why don't you do the honors? Who? Me? There's a term for people who whine and fuss about how they need silly, useless things. And then decide they no longer want them once it's theirs. A selfish old fool.
Wait, was that the prosecution's opening statement?
Old dotard such as you are a plague upon the young. I pity your poor grandchildren. Or is it great-grandchildren? All these years, I thought the opening statement was the prosecutor's job. But I suppose I could give it a try. It might be a nice change of pace.
What? He actually fell for that? must be the power of suggestion Mr. Wright has been talking about.
The opening statement, huh? Let's see here. The victim was one Rex QB, alderman of Nine Tails Vale. And the defendant, Damien Tenma, mayor of Denmatown, is accused of his murder.
And why, pray tell, was the mayor arrested?
His prints were on the murder weapon. Plus, he had a motive. The elimination of the biggest roadblock in the municipal merger. The caretaker and the secretary, other potential suspects, both have alibis. And his daughter, who was also in the vicinity at the time of the incident, has no motive.
So, in a nutshell,
I'd have to say the charges against the defendant are incontrovertible.
bravo, your boldness. Your years of experience shine bright like your head.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
He's playing Simon Says with a judge.
Moving right along now, let's hear from our first witness for today, Detective Fulbright. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
I am the detective assigned to this case, Bobby Fulbright. Oh, and I'll also be keeping tabs on old Blackquill here.
They deleted Dick Gumshoe for this guy. This kind of makes me just a little bit mad.
I also heard you would provide protection if it ever came to that.
It would seem I have been sorely underestimated.
Wait, who's protecting who from what?
Still, I truly believe anyone can turn their life around.
Don't diss Fulbright, he's fun. But Gumshoe.
Fulbright! Save your platitudes for...
Oh, they get shipped together, don't they?
Save your platitudes for funerals. Get on with your statement.
That's the spirit. Justice must be swift and true. I see it in your eyes. There is hope for your rehabilitation and return to society. I will never give up.
Oh.
I'm never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you.
Prosecutor Blackquill doesn't seem to intimidate Detective Fulbright. Well, you know what they say. Ignorance is bliss. He has that camp counselor fun vibe. If only he had a better haircut. Maybe I'd like him a bit more. Wait a second. Blackquill is 28? You've got to be fucking kidding me. He's the same age as me. I gotta go, guys. You ever just like see fictional characters that are so insanely hot and then you look at their age and you're like, they look like that and I look like this? Oh, so that's why Detective Fulbright was assigned to Blackquill. He's so oblivious.
Now, let's have your first statement, Detective Fulbright.
You got it. But first, I'd like to say to the defense that justice will ultimately prevail.
About the murder.
Alderman Cuby was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. The fingerprints of the defendant, Damien Tenma, were found on the murder weapon. At the time, Alderman QB was asleep from a drug he'd unwittingly ingested. Mayor Tenma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed the statue and struck back.
Alderman QB had been slipped some kind of sleep-inducing drug?
That's right. The accused was scared because the alderman was a former pro wrestler. So he slipped him a drug to make sure he'd be out cold and defenseless. Here's the autopsy report to prove it. And the victim managed to attack his attacker despite being impaled by a spear? That sounds almost superhuman. Is it even possible? Well, he was a former pro wrestler after all. That spear was probably nothing more than a mosquito bite to him.
Objection!
Not so fast! Don't try to brush it all off by saying the alderman has been a pro wrestler. Do you really expect us to believe he could fight back after being skewered by a spear?
Never heard of the incredible feats of which man is capable off in a pinch, have you? Like the samurai of yore, wrestlers can battle through intense pain. It sharpens their senses. I used to talk about it with a former wrestler I met in the clink, if you know what I mean.
I don't know. Still sounds like a little far-fetched. Wait, he looks so cute here.
Does it now? Then perhaps we should test the theory on you with the edge of my blade!
Ah! I didn't sign up for this. Wait, is this guy just Van Zeeks?
And so your life is spared. For now.
Please let those shackles be made of titanium. I don't want to die. But more violent? Oof.
My investigations are as thorough as they are foolproof, or my name isn't Fulbright. I vow to resign immediately if I ever make a false arrest.
The accused's prints were on the weapon, and he's the one person without an alibi. Quite decisive evidence. Wouldn't you agree, Your Baldness?
The defendant is sounding guiltier by the minute.
Why do I get the feeling that Fulbright's teeth would work like a flashlight? He has the judge leaning towards a guilty verdict and the trials have just begun.
What's more, a curious rumor about the accused is making the rounds. They say he seeks the merger for the purpose of freeing Tenma Taro from his imprisonment. Truth be told, I can think of no real reason to be showing interest in that backwards burg. Perhaps he's a complete nutter and really does seek to release an imaginary demon. Either way, he is raving mad and more than capable of murdering the alderman.
The mayor's a strange one, all right. I heard he went to a blood drive, but instead of donating, he tried to make a withdrawal.
Order! There will be no gossiping in my court.
Your Baldness, please take a gander at those charms plastered across his cranium. I hear they're meant to keep him safe from possession by the demon Tenma Taro. Then again, perhaps he's already under the demon's spell. Behold! The lunatic appears poised to lunge at you at any moment.
Says the lunatic who literally lunged at me!
Hold it!
The rumors and quirks of Mayor Tenma have no relevance to this case. Besides, those charms on his head, statement, I think.
Come to think of it, such things don't seem relevant to the case, do they?
The prosecution will refrain from dragging our client's reputation through the mud.
No. What a dreadfully fearsome lass we have here.
Phew. Thanks for that lifeline, Athena. Careful, Apollo! He has the judge dancing in the palm of his hand! The power of suggestion is one of the more powerful tools in Simon Blackwell's arsenal. He's trying to manipulate everyone's impressions to suit his objectives. This guy really is bad news.
In any case, it seems the victim did manage to defend himself despite being impaled. What sort of weapon did he use against his attacker?
None other than this statue right here.
It appears to be a statue of two strange creatures locked in battle.
2 yokai, to be exact. On one side is the nine-tailed fox, and on the other, Tenmataro. Quite interesting, if you think about it. It's as though this very case was rendered in art.
Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
About the murder. Hold it! So, those weapons on the wall of the Fox chamber, I presume those are real? Don't you think keeping real weapons around like that's rather dangerous?
No matter what he collected, the Alderman insisted it be the real deal. For instance, he had a real demon's club in his possession. Apparently, one of his ancestors claimed it after defeating a demon in battle.
What? That's gotta be an old wives' tale.
The Alderman had pure, unadulterated justice flowing in his veins. Whatever he did it right! We've lost a real champion of justice in his death.
Nothing but claptrap and balderdash, if you ask me. Now stop your bleeding and tell us about the...
Is he doing that thing that birds do where they like clink their like neck, but in a very like rigid fashion, like Noctowl in Pokemon?
Now stop your bleeding and tell us about the weapon.
Your wish is my command.
Yes. Oh boy. See, it's so funny because if you know me, I'm super not into long-haired guys, but blackquill, unfortunately, I'm not immune to.
Hold it!
It doesn't make sense if you think about it. Prince could be easily wiped off.
You do have a point there.
I'd venture to say he did not wipe off the prince because he could not.
I don't. Maybe it's because they made him wide. They know I love big men. What do you mean? Looks like he wants you to figure it out. Well, don't just stand there. Show him who's boss. I'm totally lost. So why don't you just tell me the answer already? Beefy boy summer. That's so funny. You haven't seen this year's summer art, have you? I don't think he saw that plea for help.
You feeling all right, kid? Running a fever, perhaps?
You have? Ooh, I love that art a lot. I wish Trials came with a reset button. Not the one on the screen, though. Not the one on the Zatsudan screen. The one from Twitter.
Well, the specifics may yet come to light. Please proceed, Detective Fulbright.
Hold it! Come to think of it, a coffee cup was found on the floor. Was the sedative in his coffee?
Bingo! We found traces of a sleeping agent all over the inside of the cup.
And that is why he was out cold. That is until he leapt to his feet upon being impaled by the mayor.
What an awful way to wake up.
A rather stimulating eye-opener, if you ask me. I too would have risen to the attack, for to die in battle is the samurai way. Paradise awaits fallen heroes, but that hole in his stomach would make eating a challenge.
Prosecutor Blackquill, please! Those morbid jokes of yours have no place in this court!
Says the jester in detective's guise.
Moving right along.
These two are so in love.
Hold it!
So the alderman was drugged because he was really strong?
Did you see those rock?
Fulbright! Everyone in this game is so gay. Did you see those rock-hard muscles of his?
I'm surprised the spear even managed to pierce that armor like musculature. I admit, I'm completely jealous of that righteous body of his.
Well, he did look pretty buff, even in that suit he had on. Fulbright, why are you looking at his muscles, huh?
Quite a difference when you compare with a yellow belly like you.
Yellow belly? Who even says that anymore? In this day and age, we say twink. Yeah, and the color's all wrong, too. Oh, I know. How about a squishy red twink tomato? I move to strike both of your comments from the record.
Mr. Justice's character is not the issue here. Now let's get back to what happened after the far more muscular alderman was in there.
I feel like by this point, they know who the audience is. They know who the core target audience of this game is. This dialogue sounds like a regular Kieran Young stream.
Yes, well, your average person would likely have died on the spot.
Hold it! Could he really have attacked his attacker after being impaled with that huge spear?
Absolutely! After all, he was once a pro wrestler. The injustice of being drugged, then speared, was answered with a righteous counterattack.
But does being a former pro wrestler make him superhuman?
Absolutely! After all, he was one of the good guys, like a superhero on the side of justice. Even though he was retired, he could still don his superhero guise in times of need.
Objection! You need to lay off the comic books, detective! We're talking about real life here!
Setting aside the half-wit's flights of fancy, the fact is this. The court-ordered post-mortem concluded the victim moved after his skewering.
So he found the strength somehow to attack his attacker, huh? Detective Fulbright's testimony sounds all airtight. No wonder he's so confident. No, he only thinks it's airtight. It's up to us to poke some holes in it. That part about the alderman fighting back sounds like a big hole waiting to be poked. Okay, now I can save my game. Before I have to use my brain. Let me go turn on my AC because it's starting to get really hot. I cannot wait for summer to be over, guys. Alderman QB was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. Fingerprints of the defendant were found on the murder weapon. At the time, he was asleep from a drug. Mayor Tenma attacked the helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. The sudden pain jolted the victim awake. He grabbed the statue and struck back, but there's no fingerprints of the statue. Is this it? Welcome in, Goth Mommy. Hope you're doing good. Objection! Did the alderman really strike the mayor?
What? Are you questioning my sense of justice?
Your so-called justice needs to find itself a pair of legs to stand on. Oh my god, I didn't even realize. Did I say hi, Lastiel? Welcome in, Lastiel. You claim the alderman struck back after the mayor put a spear through him. But the statue he supposedly used to defend himself creates a major hole in your theory.
It would appear that the defense has a counter-argument. Very well, let's hear what the defense thinks is odd about the detective's statue theory.
There are no fingerprints on this supposedly crucial piece of evidence. And if you look at the crime scene photo, you'll notice that the alderman isn't wearing gloves.
Yes, I believe it is quite gloveless indeed.
If he touched the statue with his bare hands, he should have left some fingerprints. Detective Fulbright, you did take that into account during your investigation, didn't you?
Ah! This can't be happening! Did I arrest the wrong man?
You did it, Apollo! You knocked Detective Fulbright off his high horse! Well, it's just 1 point in our favor. What do you suppose club it? Who do you suppose clubbed the mayor if he wasn't the alderman? Welcome in, Miggy. Hope you're doing good. Well, if it wasn't the alderman, that means someone else must have clubbed the mayor. You mean there was a third party there in the Fox chamber? Exactly. And this could be the big break we've been looking for.
There does seem to be a hole in the prosecution's argument. Prosecutor Blackquill, would you care to respond to the defense's assertion?
The least you can do is look at me while being dismissive.
Your mind is as dull as an unhoned blade.
Justice? He's a weeaboo?
Justice Dono.
Justice Dono? He's been watching too many samurai flicks. He is. I love calling him a weeb.
It will be far more than that to cut down Simon Blackquill. A whelp such as you has no hope against my superior.
No! Superior swordsmanship!
My blade was forged 10,000 times on top of a Japanese mountaintop forged by the eldest of Japanese swordsmiths.
This is a trial, not a sword fight, Prosecutor Ken-san.
There's a perfectly good explanation for the lack of prints on the statue.
I thought he was so hot. I take it back. Now this guy's just Ken-san.
You might recall that blood-stained cloth found at the scene of the crime. Well, it just so happens that the blood was the mayor's.
So, what are you getting at? Nah, they're gonna be hot weebs.
While you studied law, I studied the blade.
I'm loving the range. You're so talented. Thank you so much for the kind words. I appreciate it.
Hone your mind, boy. Why was there blood on the cloth? Solve that riddle and you shall see the hole you thought you found is but an illusion.
Now, let's see. How was that cloth used? Was it used... Oh... Maybe the alderman wrapped a statue in the cloth. In short, he wasn't touching the statue directly when he used it to strike back at the mayor. Ah!
Precisely. Bully for you, boy.
It was nothing. Apollo, don't let him start manipulating you too! You just closed the hole for the prosecution! He's not even gonna call you a good boy! I did? Oh, sorry, Daddy. Ah, I did!
Right. Then a statue wrapped in cloth would leave no fingerprints as plain as day. But this also proves there's no holes in our theory of the alderman striking back.
Gah. Oops. Gah!
Now do you see how dull your mind is?
I'll make sure to sharpen it next time.
A particularly frightening inmate once told me that. He always tenderly honed his blades before he went to work, like the samurai of yore.
Samurai? Sounds more like a homicidal maniac to me.
Actually, he was working in the prison kitchen at the time.
Wait, so the inmate was a murdering samurai prison chef?
It would seem that the victim and his killer were the only ones there after all.
I was kinda attached to that hole. Now what? Apollo, I just thought of something. If they didn't find any fingerprints on that statue... I was waiting to see if anyone was gonna grab that low-hanging fruit. That's his, like, Apollo is 100% a bottom. This is his, like, one attempt at trying to be a top, you know? Who's to say someone other than the alderman didn't hit the mayor with it? Why didn't I think of that? Anybody could have not left prints on it.
Then who, pray tell, struck the mayor with the statue? Please illuminate us with your wisdom, young lady.
There's only one answer. The real killer.
Prove the existence of this real killer, then. What evidence have you?
Yay, no! Thank you so much for the raid, gamers. Hi, hey, welcome in. If you guys are new here, it's nice to meet you all. My name is Kieran. I am a magical boy idol VTuber, as well as a queer Filipino-American voice actor for animation, anime, and video games. If you guys like Fire Emblem, I provide the English voices for Sane and Rickard in Fire Emblem Heroes. If you guys are watching anime this season, I play Percival in the 7 Deadly Sins, 4 Nights of the Apocalypse. And I also play Takuma Shippo in the regular Magic High School. But how was your stream? What were you up to? Welcome in Yeno. Welcome in the Shy Shoda. Welcome in Pseudo Magpie. What were you up to? Shout out. Yeno Games. And Vrox. Hope you're doing good too.
I am thirsty.
Oh, okay. Me too.
All right.
I love it. A short and concise clip. Straight to the point. That I'm not. I hope you guys had a good time. We're currently playing Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. If you guys want to hang out, feel free to sit back and relax. Otherwise, if you gotta go, make sure you take care of yourself. Drink some water. Don't forget to take your meds if you need to. And give yourself a nice stretch after a long stream. But thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Also, for the Raiders, if you guys want to answer today's check-in question, our check-in question of the day is, what was one of your favorite summer memories or activities that you would do during the summer? I was a band kid, so when I was in high school, we had band camp in the summer. So a lot of my July, August memories are just the sun and being out on the field and like sweating and also just being with my friends.
Prove the existence of this real killer then. What evidence have you?
Oh, I'll give you evidence, all right, you Athena, are you sure about this? To borrow your words, Apollo, I'm fine! Take a look at this! Black feathers and tracks, allegedly from a yokai, were found at the scene! You were also a band kid? What did you play? I marched flute. I believe they're from the third party who struck the mayor with that statue.
Is the defense actually suggesting some sort of monster killed the alderman?
That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
Objection!
You played trumpet and then you were drum major junior and senior year? That's so cool. Oh, I love meeting fellow band geeks. It's been so long since I've done music because I played flute all the way until I graduated college, but now I'm like 6 years out of college. So I haven't touched a flute in so long. No, Athena, you just lost what little credibility we had left. Ah! Sorry. I guess I got carried away.
Mr. Justice, we've no time to deal with objections between members of the defense.
Sorry, Your Honor. It's just, this kid's still, well, a kid. Ouch! You meanie! I'm reporting it to Mr. Wright!
So, is this court to believe the feathers and tracks are from a yokai, as you put it?
No, Your Honor. I believe they are a fabrication. The real killer wants us to believe some sort of monster murdered the alderman.
Interesting. And why do you suppose the killer would do that?
Why, indeed.
Mr. Justice, you seem as new to this as your partner is.
Ouch. This I'm not reporting to Mr. Wright.
Hey, boy, Fulbright. Explain to his baldness what these brats are missing. You know, the who and why behind those feathers and tracks.
What? They need to relax on Athena. Poor Miss Girl. It's her first day on the job, and she's catching so many strays. Also, like I think Mimo said something that was really funny. Mimo was like, "There's so many such things said, and specifically this game, especially with the blatant innuendos. I feel like we need like some sort of every time we see blackquill, like for the first time on stream when we start a stream and he comes in, we need like a Ken-san emoji or something, or at least we could just use the clown emote on him." What? You mean you can explain all that?
Our investigative prowess is without equal.
I'm starting to think I chose the wrong profession. Apollo, you could have been the protagonist of a BL game.
Very well, let's hear about these so-called yokai feathers and tracks.
The zoom in is so funny. It's like he's just standing there menacingly.
This entire case centers on one man's attempt to crush opposition to the municipal merger.
Oh my god, wait, Lastiel, you played tenor sax? Hell yes, you totally give tenor sax guy vibes. Either tenor... actually, no, I think you give more tenor sax than baritone vibes.
Mayor Tenma panicked when the amazing Ninetails helped embolden the protesters. So he stoked the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster. The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer.
Those feathers and tracks stoked the villagers' fears. Looks at Fox Mask Rescuer. Oh, here. I'll do you a favor, Ditsunel. Oh, I lied. I don't have a screenshot of it. Oops. There you go. Those feathers and tracks stoked the villagers' fears?
Absolutely. He knew exactly how to prey on their superstitious minds.
Those feathers only gave weight to the idea that the alderman was slain by a demon. The accursed demon Tenma Taro, that is.
Tenma, who?
Tenma Taro, the legendary demon locked away in the village's forbidden chamber.
Is that Blue Smith? Blue Smith? Who's Blue Smith?
From a young age, the villagers are taught to fear the great black-feathered demon. And thus they were blinded to other, more plausible explanations.
Hold it! Hold on for a second! Before we start letting our imaginations run wild, isn't there someone else that could have been considered a suspect?
Mr. Justice, please explain yourself.
On the day of the incident, there was a special event held at QB Manor. And as part of the event, there was someone dressed in the likeness of Tenma Taro. Obviously, this person is much more likely suspect than any legendary demon!
Objection!
Dullard, you're playing right into the killer's mind games.
What?
Listen here. The feathers and tracks were merely red herrings. The villagers believed the murder to be the work of the real Tenma Taro.
It's TikTok brain rot. Do you know that one lady, Nara Smith, who does everything from scratch? No, I don't. I don't really use TikTok much except to learn about recipes that I want to cook. So if there's any like TikTok memes or anything, you have to teach them to me because I'm old. I could not stand vamp camp. Standing for almost 10 hours each day for 2 weeks was not the vibe. Yes, and yeah, but also like, I don't know, maybe it's because it was so much of my life, right? Like, because all my best friends were in band. We were all in it together. So it really sucked. It was really hot. And I remember my freshman year in band camp, I literally blacked out. I had a faint attack once. But now that I'm old and I don't have anything like that to look forward to, like, I don't have like an event like that to like devote so much of my time to besides streams and all that, right? Like, I miss having something like that. Just like an activity or a community to be a part of.
However, the police believes that the person in the Tenma Taro suit is the killer.
Ah!
The defendant sought to sow this confusion in order to deflect blame away from himself. However, he was knocked unconscious by the alderman. And thus our mentally deficient mayor was caught red-handed at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
Do you honestly believe Mayor Tenma would do something so stupid?
Objection!
The evidence speaks for itself. Fulbright.
Right! It was the mayor's last-ditch effort to stop the opposition before things get crazy.
He knows he's... See, it's so funny. I love asking you guys, like, do you like this character? Do you think this character is hot?
The amazing Ninetails was fueling both the yokai craze and the anti-merger movement. Plus, he's one of the better-known masked wrestlers and the hometown favorite. That's why the mayor panicked and set out on the path of injustice.
definitely felt that way about football games and competitions. Band camp just hurt my legs. I get it. I get it. I was just saying earlier, so for the people that are in band, they know this. When you're like in band camp and you have all those practices and stuff and rehearsals, at least for my school, we weren't allowed, when we're taking breaks in between sets, we're not allowed to sit down on the AstroTurf or the grass. We have to like sit on our knees because like we're quote unquote, like we can't disrespect the field like that. I don't know if that's specifically like a football thing or like a band thing, because I know that marching band thing, it comes from like military and stuff like that. It might be a military thing, honestly. But yeah, at least for when we're on the football field itself, we weren't allowed to directly sit on the football field. We had to sit on our knees. If we wanted to sit, like sit, we had to go to like the track.
Yokai sightings are an everyday event there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I must say, a crime that preys upon innocent, impressionable minds.
Just so. A particularly silver-tongued inmate once had the following words for me.
Wait a second. I know who this guy reminds me of. I need to tangent again. It's Sunday. I didn't take Adderall. If you guys are old, you guys might have your bones creak after seeing this guy. I know exactly who this guy... It's the impact of this game that they designed this character. He played marimba? He didn't even march! If you know who this guy is, you deserve the retirement home card. Just imagine the suit's black. The marching was one of the most fun parts. Exactly. Please tell me someone knows who this is. Exactly, yeah, Token Rambu. I definitely recognize the artist. Actually, who is the artist for this character? He's not my favorite Token Rambu character, but I always thought he looked like Edgeworth. Kuniharu Komiya. I played the flute and piccolo up until senior year. My god, marching season may have been so stressful. Welcome in, Crystal Wolf. Can we give Crystal a warm welcome for being new here in the chat? High five, fellow flautist. I thought you were gonna say that anime surgeon guy. Wait, which anime surgeon guy? What anime surgeon guy? What? Doctor, I want you. This is too much for your health insurance can't afford this. Black Jack? Black Jack anime. This guy looks kind of hot too, actually. Oh. Twirls hair. Hi there. Oh. Oh. Oh no. Oh. I've never seen this guy before. Who is this guy? Osamu Tezuka? Rachel, send it to me, please. It's him? I've never seen this guy before. Oh, stop. His seiyuu for his young version's Yuichiro Umehara? I'm sold. I'm sold. He's daddy. Oh my gosh. I've literally never heard of this guy. It's an old, yeah, it's Osamu Tezuka. It's definitely old school.
Just so, a particularly silver-tongued inmate once had the following words for me. The innocent of heart are the easiest prey.
You don't say! Was this inmate a con artist?
No. He was framed for the murder of his beloved. I actually felt sorry for the poor chap.
Is he also supposed to be like British? Wait, so he wasn't the predator, but rather the prey? He must be the cutest puppy dog in jail because his fellow inmates keep giving him advice.
Yes, well. Now then, the defense may proceed with their cross-examination.
Hold it! Detective Fulbright, is the anti-merger movement really that strong?
Oh, absolutely! They parade around in yokai costume shouting, "Down with Mayor Tenma!" And the other day, they stormed Tenma City Hall claiming it was a den of vipers.
But when the accused showed his face, the angry mob scattered like leaves upon an autumn wind. For you see, lowly yokai are no match for Tenma Taro, the dark lord of their kind.
Wait, are the villagers scared of Mayor Tenma or Tenma Taro? I'm confused. I think he means Mayor Tenma. It's easy to get the wrong impression about the guy.
Detective Fulbright, why do you suppose the defendant would commit such an act?
I forgot how good the cross-examination music is in this game. Yeah. Hold it! The music in this game is good, but I really just want to... And now we're talking about Great Ace Attorney, I just really want to go replay Great Ace Attorney because I love the music in that game. The Amazing Nine Tails. No one knows his true identity, right?
That's right. And he was a lone wolf, or in other words, he didn't belong to a wrestling federation. He appeared like a shooting star, defeating one Tenma Town wrestler after another. And before anyone knew it, he was the champion.
Like the samurai of yore, surrounded thick with enemies, he cut them down one by one. It was a complete and utter loss of face for Tenma Town Pro Wrestling.
He was amazing! If there was ever a real superhero, it would be him! I dream of becoming a true champion of justice like him someday. Him and his I was gonna tangent. Him and his big, muscly, sexy body.
I bet Detective Fulbright would be a great pro wrestler. He could even team up with Prosecutor Blackquill. They both just need haircuts. A police detective and a prisoner in chains. You know, I think people would actually pay to see that. I know that I read a doujin like that once.
So you do understand the greatness that is the Amazing Nine Tails.
I just don't like this guy's hair. This guy's, you know, is this guy related to that guy that everyone's mad that his name got changed? Sebastian the Best, Eustace Winter. He kind of looks like that guy to me. Hold it! Did the murder and yokai evidence really stoke the villagers' fears?
Absolutely! It had an immediate effect. The presumed return of the dreaded Tenma Taro has been shaking in their boots. Oh my, is it really that bad?
That superstitious lot. It's as if Jack the Ripper had been set loose in their village. The mere thought of that demon lurking about is enough to spark a mass exodus.
I see. That's a very persuasive argument.
The mere thought of his honor buying into Simon the Psycho Slasher's words. Makes me want to spark my own exodus out of the courtroom right about now.
So you see, there can only be one reason why anyone would plant those feathers and tracks.
Hold it! But it doesn't add up. If what you say is true, why top it off with murder?
What do you mean?
You claim that our client planted the yokai evidence to stoke the villagers' fears. If so, then why not stop there? Why murder Alderman Cuby?
Excellent point.
It is, isn't it? So Your Honor agrees there was no reason for the murder, correct?
Objection!
Perhaps the killing was on the spur of the moment.
You're saying it wasn't premeditated?
From the outset, I had no intention of paying heed to any of your babble. However, the fact is, the mayor made a startling discovery.
A startling discovery? Why don't I like the sound of that?
Alderman Cuby's secret identity.
Apollo! I think Prosecutor Blackquill has figured out the Alderman's secret identity. But even if he has, why would it be a motive for the mayor to commit murder? This is not good.
This patch of fur was discovered at the crime scene. It's from the mask worn by the amazing Nine Tails. Therefore, we can conclude that this mask was at the crime scene.
Oh my! But why would it have been there?
That angle? You are so in love with this man, aren't you?
The victim was a former pro wrestler and a member of the anti-merger movement. Need I say more?
Well, Ah! Could it really be?
Your baldness has an epiphany, I see.
Epiphany.
Our victim, Rex Cuby, was the amazing Nine Tails. And the mayor's discovery of this fact was his motive for murder.
No!
Order! Order! What a shocking development. A motive clearer than crystal clear.
What do we do now, Apollo? I didn't think they'd tie the Alderman's secret identity to the mayor's motive for murder.
At last, we've reached my real point. Why did the alderman have to forge a secret identity? Does it not pique your interest, your baldness?
I admit it does. It is odd that he had to create this other persona. Just to secretly participate in the anti-merger movement.
Very astute of you, your baldness.
Right. Now take a look at this. If you value your dearest's life, you will merge Nine Tails Vale with Tenma Town. This blackmail letter was found in Alderman Cuby's pocket.
What?
At present, the alderman's wife is in the hospital. And that letter is clear evidence that the mayor was blackmailing him by threatening her life.
Wait, didn't the blackmail letter sent to Mayor Tenma go missing? Right after the Alderman's murder? You think maybe the killer took the letter from the mayor after the murder? And planted it into the Alderman's pocket? It's possible, but we don't have any proof that's what happened. Talk about being up the creek without a paddle.
Mayor Tenma would have made a clean getaway if he'd just left after planting the yokai things. But he was knocked out cold by his sudden decision to kill the amazing Nine Tails. So it was the amazing Ninetales' counterattack that brought the entire crime to light.
Wait a sec. Fulbright's claiming that the mayor killed the alderman after planting the yokai evidence. And that the mayor was knocked out cold immediately after that? Detective Fulbright, please add your previous statement to your testimony. That was such a long tangent, just like me. Hold it! So let me get this straight. You believe the mayor planted the yokai evidence before the murder, not after?
Absolutely. And then he was knocked out cold by the alderman's last punch. He wouldn't have had the chance to plant evidence after that.
Something's not right here. Hard to believe that a stiff, humorless man like the mayor could be behind such a stunt. We have to do something, Apollo, before they pin it all on the mayor. And we're gonna have to prove that the mayor Tenma didn't plant that yokai stuff. How are we supposed to do that? There are bloody footprints, black feathers scattered on top of blood. Is it the crime photo?
Objection!
Objection! Detective Fulbright, your sense of justice is anything but fair!
What's this? You dare question my justice again?
Yes, and I'm gonna prove it to you. Take a look at this photo.
This is a crime scene photo. And just what does this prove?
It proves when the feathers and tracks were planted.
But I already told you they were planted before the murder! The detective planted the yokai evidence and then was knocked out while killing his victim!
But that would be impossible. If you look right here, it's clear when the feathers and tracks were left at the scene.
Take that! Aren't you just pointing to the yokai feathers and tracks, Mr. Justice?
Yes. See how the feathers on top of the blood and the tracks were made in blood? In other words, the yokai evidence could have only resulted after the murder.
Then the mayor must have planted the evidence after killing the alderman!
But you said it yourself, the mayor had been knocked unconscious thereafter. There would have been no time for him to plant any evidence at all. Therefore, there must have been someone else besides the mayor and the alderman at the crime scene!
This must be some mistake! Order! Order! Where's your evidence? You can't possibly have any, can you?
Evidence? Oh, I have evidence. In fact, I have an eyewitness's testimony for you after I save my game.
You do? But how?
Was my wanted sense of justice really just half-baked? Oh, he's so baby girl. Okay, I can see why you like him, Comet. He's taking this really hard.
Mr. Justice.
Baby girl detected. Saving the game before every puzzle. So exactly. I didn't say I liked him like that. I just think he's a fun character. That's what I mean, though. That's what I meant.
What is this testimony regarding a third party that you claim to have?
I have it right here, Your Honor. It's the sworn testimony of Mr. Tenma's daughter. The witness, Jinxie Tenma, saw a yokai in the hallway after stumbling upon the scene. It was the demon Tenma Taro. He's the source of those feathers and tracks! Will somebody please say something?
The defense will now explain to the court exactly what he means. You dare to mock this court and justice itself? You're unfit to bear your name, boy!
Your baldness, it appears our defense attorney here is delirious from exhaustion.
Apollo, think of something quick before you're held in contempt of court! What do you think I'm trying to do? Before you decide whether I should step down, please, hear me out.
Very well, Mr. Justice, I'm all ears. But you had better explain yourself well. What was this yokai you were talking about?
It's all in this statement here. Jinxie Tenma asserts that she saw Tenma Taro. After she discovered the crime scene and called the police. She came around a corner in the hall. It was around here. That she saw Tenma Taro fleeing toward the foyer. The defense asserts that whoever was impersonating this monster is the one who left those feathers and tracks behind, intentionally or otherwise.
What? Oh, incredibly unjust! Why haven't I heard about this before?
The defense just proved that there was someone else. So that was it all set up? The prosecutor is a convicted felon after all. Apollo! The momentum is shifted in our favor. Good. Now let's keep it that way.
Objection!
Little do you realize that though you are in the midst of a fray, your sword is broken.
My sword? I didn't know I had one to break. Are you implying there's a problem with my claim? I forgot how good the music in this game is. You guys really like the Dual Destinies OST.
Consider this. If that yokai impersonator had indeed fled towards the foyer,
this theme right now, is this Blackwell's theme, or what is this theme supposed to be for? This theme specifically, it's giving Beast's Castle in Kingdom Hearts 2.
that fool and that fop would have seen him.
Fool and fop? Oh, you mean Filch and LaBelle. Now that you mention it. Everyone always imagines Blackwell's voice to be deep, and then you hear his objection. I also imagine Edgeworth to have a deep voice too, and then it's actually not as deep as I think it is.
Both Phineas Filch and Florent LaBelle were in the foyer at the time.
I can totally see what you mean about Beast Castle. Exactly. Yeah, this is Blackwell's theme? Okay. So this is what happens when the beast becomes a human.
But they haven't stated that they saw a yokai, have they? Did you even consider that yokai were but a figment of a scared little girl's imagination?
Why didn't those two see Tenma Taro impersonator pass by? Why don't we ask them ourselves? I was just about to say that myself. No, really, I was. The defense would like to call Mr. Phineas Filch, caretaker of QB Manor, to the stand. I keep on reading it as Phineas Ferb. I just know he must have seen something. Welcome in, Audric.
I suppose we can't ignore the fact that the little girl believes she saw a monster. I trust you have no objections to Mr. Justice's request, Prosecutor Blackquill.
When the beast becomes a hot guy.
I understand that Mr. Filch is enjoying a nap out of the lobby.
I knew that Tanuki was a rare find. But when we captured him, I didn't think he'd end up a witness. Do with him as you will.
Did he just say captured? No, wait. I don't want to know. Hi, Light. Welcome in.
Very well. Bailiff, please go wait Mr. Filch and escort him to the witness stand. Will the witness state his name and occupation, please?
The name's Filch. Phineas Filch, caretaker of QB Manor. Oh, and this is for you, your lordship. Just a little something I thought you might like.
Oh my, what a fabulous pair of shoes. And your honor will do just fine, Mr. Filch.
Ugh, it's those shoes again. Don't they belong to Detective Fulbright? Don't tell me Filch stole them again.
They're all yours, your honorship, sir.
So, someone, I don't remember what I saw. I think it was on Reddit or Twitter or something, but someone was talking about Maddie Blaustein, fantastic, phenomenal voice actress, right? And because she was the original voice of Meowth in English, and someone shared a video of her doing a cover of Bohemian Rhapsody in the Meowth voice. So now I just have the Meowth voice stuck in my head. Did the judge just accept a bribe during a case?
They're all yours, your honorship, sir.
What? But they all seem awfully expensive.
Yep, too expensive for me, but I reckon they'd be perfect for someone like your honorship.
It's a kind gesture, but legal ethics dictate I can't accept such gifts.
Oh, ethics schmethics. Just take them if you want them. Polished them up real nice for you, too.
I'm sorry about the shoes, Mr. Filch, but I will accept your testimony. The court would like to hear whether you saw Tenma Taro in the foyer after the murder.
At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the foyer, just like Mr. QB asked. I was making sure no one, fair, soul, fishy, or otherwise, could get to our guest. I was still in my office keeping a good watch when the murder happened after 3 p.m. But I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary, no siree.
That yokai you keep jabbering on about was but a phantom of the little girl's dreams.
So, you're telling this court you never saw anyone dressed up like Tenma Taro?
Yep, was guarding the whole time. That's the truth, the holy truth, and nothing but the truth.
Isn't Nutter Butter like a brand? Can they say that?
And Tenma Taro? Bah, you don't really believe in all that yokai mumbo jumbo, do ya? I certainly don't.
Hmm? My... It's... Is something the matter, Apollo? My... keeps squeezing my arm. Really? So you think Mr. Tanaki, Filch has been lying to us? I wouldn't rule it out. Now, if I could just zero in on a tell, some sort of nervous habit. I mean, this literally looks like a nervous habit. He looks like March 7th when she was on the Express, you know? Ah! What in the... Welcome in, Blue Moss. What's a hawk doing in here?
Allow me to introduce my trusty cohort, Taka. He seems to have taken quite a liking to the courthouse. Made it in his new home, in fact.
He doesn't live with you, you know, in jail? Who's ever heard of a courthouse bird? Apollo, it's Jailbird.
Taka simply loathes trickery and fraud. And that queer
Apollo Justice. Queer power.
That queer power of yours seems to have offended my dear bosom buzzard.
This isn't some trick or... Ah! I won't be able to spot Squawk like this! What the heck's going on round here? Run for the hills!
No pets or other animals allowed in the courtroom.
Somebody help!
Oh, he's merely having a bit of sport. He won't harm you, save when he's truly famished.
In that case, Prosecutor Blackquill, you will ensure your feathered friend is properly fed.
Apollo clearly hasn't heard of the famous DL6 incident from Phoenix. Looks like we have to do this the old-fashioned way. We'll be fine, I think. There was someone dressed as Ten Matato there. Filch should have seen him. We'll just have to put our faith in Jigsy's statement for now.
Mr. Justice, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Guarding the foyer. This judge lets so many things fly. He lets girls just wield whips in court. He lets sexy men bring their pets in. I have my Korean chips as my snack for today, but I also last night got some mint chip Oreos after talking about them for so long, and they taste so good. Oh my god, if you guys haven't tried them yet, please make sure you try them.
Hold it!
Mr. Filch, why did Alderman Hubie have you handle guard duty? 'Cause he trusts me. I am the mana's caretaker after a while. So you took said guard duty seriously? Let me tell you something about me. I'm... Yikes!
Listen here, you little tanuki. Get straight to the point and be quick about it. The court wishes to hear what you did or didn't see in the foyer, and not else.
Yes, of course, sir. Right away, sir. Blackwell's got him completely under his thumb. Like I said, I was guarding the foyer entrance that day. so no one could get to him. Sounds like security was pretty tight. That's because there's always lots of sneaks and thieves around festival time. And the solution to entrust the manor's security to a thief? That's not even funny. Maybe it's a matter of stopping thieves by hiring one. After all, it takes one to know one. I love that they just let Athena have her little hologram there. Like, Athena, 1,000,000% right now looks like an iPad kid. I don't know. Seems more like letting the fox guard the hen house to me.
So the witness testifies that he took his guard duty seriously.
Yes, sir. Your Honorship, sir.
Hold it!
Did you really keep an eye on the foyer the entire time? Poor old Filchy. Been working hard my whole life. Only to be smeared by some greenhorn in his fancy schmancy suit and silly haircut. What? Sorry, Mr. Blackquill, sir. Didn't mean to get off subject there. Done drawing, gonna head to bed now. Have a good trial. Take care, May. Thanks for hanging out. Wait, I gotta see the drawing. Hold on. On twitter.com/Maymorin. Oh. I need to sign in. Wait, can you not sign in with Twitter? Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Oh. Oh. Happy. Good night. Take care. Sorry, Mr. Blackquill, sir. Didn't mean to get off subject there. Sheesh. Blackquill didn't even say anything. To answer your question, yes, I kept an eye. No, both of them. In fact, on the foyer.
Hold it!
Could you describe to the court who you would consider fishy looking? Someone all fidgety and shifty like, you know, like they're about to steal something. He just described himself. I wonder why Mr. Filch didn't see Tenmataro. Maybe Jinxie only thinks she saw Tenmataro. Or maybe Mr. Filch is lying. And if he's lying, we might be able to spot a contradiction in his testimony. Oh, oops, I did this already. Okay, cool. That emote is so funny. Guard duty, making sure no one fair, foul, fishy, or otherwise can get to our guest. Still in my office, keeping a good watch when the murder happened after 3 p.m. (3:20 p.m.) Guard duty in the foyer. No one fair, foul, fishy, or otherwise could get to our guest. Office keeping a good watch when the murder happened after 3. I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary. Should we use the statement? I feel like he's not gonna accept it. Let's try the statement. I was on a roll too.
Objection!
No, okay. When the murder happened after 3 p.m. I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary. Maybe the foyer diagram, because the camera only sees like only shows a certain amount of space?
Objection!
Let me try the different statements first. I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary. I think maybe it's this one.
Objection!
No, my logic's not working? Oh, was it this? Was it this? Was it this?
Objection!
I can't believe it! Don't lie to the court like that, Mr. Filch. Hey, it ain't right to bushwhack a fella like that. Unfortunately for you, I have evidence that proves you're lying. If you look at this TV listing here, you'll see that at the time of the crime, there was a pro wrestling match scheduled. Something you would never miss. Ah! I didn't watch that one. No, sirree. I was doing my job just like I was supposed to. This guy just doesn't know when to give up. Mr. Filch, someone even circled the match. It was you, wasn't it? Not only that, you even told me you watched it. You said, and I quote, "It was a complete disaster." So, do you admit to slacking off? You can't trick me with your roadie poo lawyer talk. I'm one of them professional types too. I can do double duty, watching TV in the foyer at the same time. The only thing Filch can claim to be a professional of is professional thief.
Mr. Justice, you would have this court believe the witness was slacking off?
That's correct. He claims to have been watching TV in the foyer at the same time. But that's nothing but a bald-faced lie.
Oh, you say? But I'm not the one who's lying. Perhaps you meant the witness, Mr. Justice. And in that case, let's see what evidence you can offer. You claim Mr. Filch is lying about watching TV in the foyer simultaneously.
Okay, so I was on the right track.
Take that!
Please take a look at the direction the TV's facing on the diagram. Now, unless Mr. Filch's eyes where his right ear should be, I think it would be impossible to watch the foyer entrance and the TV at the same time.
Why, yes. Someone watching TV there couldn't possibly see the entrance.
Exactly. And that means, Mr. Filch, you were slacking off and were not watching the foyer as you claim.
Yipes! The bag's out of the cat! I mean, the other way around.
Order! Order! But, Mr. Justice, is Mr. Filch's less than stellar work ethic relevant to this case?
The times the word foyer is mentioned is wild. It's like, you know when you hear a word so many times over and over again that it doesn't sound like a real word anymore to you? It's very relevant because while he was slacking off watching TV, there really couldn't have been a Ten Matado impersonator in the foyer!
Objection!
What now?
Granted, this Tanuki was lax in his duties, but he still had the foyer entrance covered.
What are you talking about?
This.
I'm not a mind reader.
Auditory
Autonomous sensory meridian response.
His eyes may have been slacking off, but his ears were still hard at work. Right, Tanuki?
They were? I mean, yes. Yes, they were.
But you already admitted to slacking off. Now you say you weren't?
My eyes may be lazy, but my ears ain't. I would have heard anyone in the foyer. You see, the foyer floor and stairway get all creaky squeaky when someone walks in on them. Creak, 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 loud enough to wake the dead, I reckon.
So you're saying you didn't hear anybody walk by?
Yep, my ears were working full time, so who's the liar now, you no good shyster?
A lying thief calling me a shyster. This has to be the low point of my fledgling career.
Gotta hand it to you, Mr. Blackquill, sir. You really are something else. I mean, you don't miss a thing, and them bags under your eyes, they're darker than mine.
Fair warning, Mr. Filch. Taka is particularly fond of Tanuki. Should you lie to this court again, you may suddenly find yourself on the menu.
Yipes! Please don't eat me, Mr. Taka, sir!
The witness will now henceforth testify truthfully under penalty of painful bird attacks. And with that in mind, the court requests that the witness revise his testimony accordingly.
He is working overtime. It's true. I was watching a pro wrestling match on the office TV. My eyes ought to have been slacking off, but my ears, oh, they were working overtime. The floor there's all creaky squeaky like. No way I would have missed someone walking by. So you see, there weren't no Ten Mataro in the foyer.
Superstition is the religion of feeble minds. Understand? A simple, rational explanation is best. Forget yokai, demons, and such. We must use common sense. For lacking that, our entire world would be upside down.
Says the convict prosecutor who's totally a sign of the end times for the legal world.
And besides, if there was any yokai roaming about, I'd nab him and sell him to the zoo.
I wonder whether Jinxie was just seeing things. It seems to be the general consensus, but I'm sticking to my guns. But if we can't prove she saw Tenmataro, the mayor's sure to be convicted. Then we better hope my guns fire bullets, not BBs.
The defense may cross-examine the witness.
Ears working overtime. Thankfully, his testimonies are only 4 sentences long, so it's nothing too crazy.
Hold it!
You are paid for your work, aren't you? So how do you justify watching TV on the job?
But it ain't easy being me. I mean, I can't watch TV when we have visitors and there's no way to record stuff.
Sorry, am I supposed to be consoling you over your first world problems? If those are his only problems, he should consider himself lucky. Guess pro wrestling's serious business to Mr. Filch.
Hold it!
You lied earlier about taking your guard duty seriously, didn't you?
Oh, what, that? Ain't no harm in bending the truth a little, right?
Listen to me, you little tanuki. Lie again, and Taka shall feast upon that forked tongue of yours.
Yikes! Sorry, just let me keep my tongue.
At least leave it until we get the truth out of him in any case.
You were negligent in your duties, were you not?
Welcome in, a lazy artist. Hope you're doing good. Thanks for stopping by.
Yes, sir. I was, sir, but it ain't like that.
Hold it!
So, you've pretty good ears, Mr. Filch?
As good as they come, I'd say. Ain't nothing to hear a creaky floor. Plus, that Tenmataro makes a sound when he goes by. It's like a jingle jangle.
Jingle jangle? How does he do that?
It's that staff of his. That's what that jingle jangles.
What's he talking about, Apollo? Beats me, but I guess Tenmataro has a staff that makes noise. Come to think of it, didn't Jinxie mention something like that too? She said she saw Tenmataro holding a staff-like object that made a jangly sound. I guess that's the source of the noise then.
Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Filch says Tenmataro jingle jangles. Would you consider that vital information?
Extremely vital. I request that it be added to his testimony. Is it then because she says that she saw him fly?
Objection!
No, okay. Or maybe I have to cross-examine it first. So Tenmataro's staff makes a distinctive sound.
Yep, like a jingle and a jangle.
Wait, Jinxie said something about that. Oh, didn't I read this already? Wait. I think we're missing something here, but I can't put my finger on it.
Hold it!
Please tell the court, what did Jinxie see if it was not Tenmataro?
She's always going on about seeing this yokai or that. Just an act of imagination, I reckon. She won't even come near me because she thinks I'm some sort of tanuki monster.
Can't say I blame her. So, Mr. Filch, you chalk it up to a child's active imagination?
Yep, no Tenmataro or anything gotten out of QB Manor on my watch.
Apollo, what could this mean? Do you think Jinxie was just seeing things? Well, if that's the case, the details she provided were pretty impressive. But if we're to continue believing Jinxie's statement, we'll have to uncover Filch's lie? Right. Or find out why he can't tell the truth. Is it really not the statement about him flying?
Objection!
No. I should eat some snacks while the game loads. His staff would have gone jingle jangle.
Objection!
No.
Objection!
There we go. Tenmataro's staff would make a jangly sound, you say? Well, I'm gonna say that your story doesn't add up.
Is there something the defense would like to share with the court?
Mr. Filch, you say that you didn't see Tenmataro on the day of the incident. Why, then, did you assume just now that Tenmataro would be holding a staff?
Huh?
You see, the Tenmataro Jinxie saw held a staff in his hands. And she described its sound just like you did, as a kind of jangly sound.
Yeah, so he was holding a staff. What's your point?
Objection!
The point is that Tenmataro doesn't use a staff. Not normally.
What are you talking about?
You see, this is the only known document depicting Tenmataro. Is there a staff in that picture, Mr. Filch?
You're right. There's no staff. Not even a cane or a walking stick.
Ah!
So the question is, why does the witness think Tenmataro uses a staff?
I believe the answer will overturn the prosecution's case on the most basic level.
Well now, this is getting interesting.
All right, Mr. Justice. It's time to show the court where you're going with this.
Please tell the court why Mr. Filch believes Tenmataro carries a staff. Mr. Filch actually saw Tenmataro right after the crime occurred! That's the only way he could possibly know about the staff. I busted again!
Bloody hell! You duplicitous little...
Yes. How'd that feel, Blackquill? Not so fun when you're on the receiving end of the blade, is it? Admit it, Mr. Filch. You did see Tenmataro that day, didn't you? Well?
I'm begging ya! Please don't make me say it!
But clearly you did see Tenmataro! Stop stalling and testify to that fact!
No can do! No way, no how! You ain't gonna get no idea how terrifying he can be!
He? Mr. Filch still won't admit to seeing Tenmataro, even though everyone knows he did. The question now is, why? Mr. Filch is scared to death! Is that why he can't admit the truth? Come to think of it, they say that you must not gaze upon Tenmataro, but in the event that you do look, and then tell anyone what you saw, Tenmataro will come claim your soul. Jinxie wouldn't admit to seeing Tenmataro after hearing about the village superstitions. She said that if she told anyone that she had seen Tenmataro, he'd claim her soul. Wait, you think Mr. Filch believes that too?
So Mr. Big Time, City Slicker Lawyer, has ever heard about them? Them old village superstitions?
Will the defense please explain what the witness is talking about?
The people of Nine Tails Vale believe some pretty strange things. And their superstitions may be the reason our witness here can't admit the truth. The truth that he really did see Tenmataro.
Darn straight, that's why! It's all right here. Village superstitions. Do not gaze upon Tenmataro. Do not tell others you see him. Ignoring the superstitions will cost you your soul. There is, however, one way to save it. Your immediate departure from the village. Freeing him will bring ruin upon the village.
Ignoring the superstitions will cost you your soul.
See? That's why us folks in Nine Tails Vale can't talk about seeing Tenmataro.
That clears up one mystery. The killer took advantage of the superstitions by wearing a Tenmataro costume. You think people would want to know if an evil deity was running around? Well, I mean, like, they value their lives. They knew that way no one could talk about him, so it was as if he never existed. The defense holds that this Tenmataro impersonator is the true killer.
What?
Objection! Superstitions, you say? What kind of a fool would actually believe such rubbish? And would that using some silly fairy tale could so easily expose the culprit?
It'd be really suspicious if a ton of people just started leaving the village. Everyone leaves, and then Tenmataro has no one to, like, terrorize.
You'll need to come up with a more rational, common sense explanation than that.
Objection!
Your common sense seems awfully narrow-minded to me, Prosecutor Blackquill.
Objection!
Try living in my world of narrow cells, mortal danger, and dark, sleepless nights. There's no lack of superstitions in the clink, but few are those who truly believe in them.
Objection!
Well, the village superstitions are real enough to the people of Ninetails Vale. A life or death superstition might even make you a believer.
Order! Order, I say!
You fool of a tanuki! 2 times now your lies have cost me!
Hey, sorry. I promise not to do it again.
Taka, my fine feathered friend, have at him!
Yipes! He's gonna eat me alive! Head for the hills!
He took off.
Bailiff, what are you waiting for? After him, and with your fastest men!
That's certainly not something you see every day.
Well, it would seem a new and important fact has come to light. A third party disguised as the yokai Tenmataro was at the scene. And now we have 2 witnesses who can attest to that fact. Any objections, Prosecutor Blackquill?
Uh-oh. What? His shackles! Ah! I'm too young to die!
Justice, Dono. Long has it been since I've been forced to draw my blade. You'd best say your prayers.
Why'd they let him keep his blade on his person?
Detective, do something! Have no fear, Fulbright is here. When the going gets tough, the champion of justice gets going.
Objection!
Then get going already before he kills us!
Oh, but I stand in awe of Simon Blackquill, for it is his sense of justice that sets him free. Objection! 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 I object to Detective Fulbright's definition of justice!
Silence.
I'm not in the habit of cutting down unarmed cowards.
Well, in that case, Prosecutor Blackquill, can I ask you to, you know...
I think the judge forgot he's in charge here. He pulled a Regal Bryant from Tales of Symphonia!
So, Justice Dodo's assertion is this. Tenmataro is the real killer, not Mayor Tenma. According to him, there was a yokai at the scene of the crime.
Right. And that yokai, or rather, whoever was impersonating him, killed Alderman Cuby.
Silence.
Ah!
Here to explain why Jinxie, being the first to discover the murder, did not see your alleged killer yokai there in the fox chamber.
What? He's right. She said nothing about Tenmataro being in the fox chamber.
Let me enlighten you. That little scamp heard a dying scream right before she opened the chamber door.
And your point is?
Upon opening the door, she found a freshly skewed murder victim, the alderman. And the homicidal maniac who had killed him, the mayor.
No, there must have been someone dressed up like Tenma. Ah!
Then why does that little scamp claim not to have seen the yokai in the fox chamber?
Considering her father is accused of murder, surely she wouldn't have mentioned any third party that might have been in the room.
I don't understand. Why didn't she see Tenma Taro inside the fox chamber?
There's but one way to find out. Ask Jinxie Tenma whether she saw your killer yokai at the scene of the crime.
Uh-oh.
The final battle draws nigh. Only one of us will leave here alive. Long as my blade thirsted for blood, at long last it shall be sated.
Wait, this still is a trial, right?
Show me what you're truly capable of, Justice Dono.
Very well. Both parties no doubt need some time to regroup. So the court will take a 10-minute recess in order to... Ah!
3 minutes.
I'm sorry, but a 3-minute recess?
Just so. Plenty of time if your destination of intent is the loo.
The loo? You mean the bathroom?
Sheesh. At least include enough time to wash her hands.
See that you take no more than 3 minutes. All latecomers will be punished.
Yes, sir. I hereby declare a 3-minute recess before the battle begins.
I declare Prosecutor Blackquill the winner of this round, and Simon Says. Doesn't bode well for us if the prosecutor's running the show, does it? All right, we're gonna take a 3-minute break. It sounds like, which is perfect timing for a quick little ad break. So if you guys need to, go ahead and grab some snacks, go use the bathroom, go do what you got to do, and we'll be back in exactly 3. We'll be back in maybe 4 minutes in case people want to get punished by Blackquill. But we'll be back in just a bit, okay, guys? BRB. Oh no, it's been more than 3 minutes. Do you think this means Simon Blackquill is going to punish us? Ooh woo. April 18th, 10:40 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. He busted out of his shackles. Yeah, what was all that about? Guess they don't make shackles like they used to. Better be careful, Apollo. You've really brought out the samurai in him. Especially after you proved that there was a Tenmataro impersonator at the manor. What's with that guy and that whole samurai act anyways?
Such fine swordsmanship. That is no mere act. Mr. Justice, it's high time I challenge this jailhouse prosecutor to a duel.
No, wait! Let's save the dueling until after we prove your innocence.
I suppose he can wait until later.
Does anyone remember we're conducting a trial here? Athena, I'm gonna go wash up. Remember what Blackquill said, Apollo. Don't be late. Oh my god, I thought there was gonna be like some weird, wacky anime cutscene where like Apollo's like gonna go to the bathroom and then he runs into Blackwell at the bathroom or something. April 18th, 10:43 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4.
Now then, I believe our next witness is Miss Jinxie Tenma, a maid at the QB Manor. I believe we can proceed now if the witness is ready, that is.
Nunari Young, leader of the 100 demons. He really does exist. Wow, that is one well-polished tray.
The witness will show her face while in court, or her testimony will be inadmissible.
Yeah!
What is it, my child?
Begone, Nunari Young, leader of the 100 demons!
You think I am a yokai? Well, I was known as a judicial monster of sorts. The beast of the bar, the demon of due process, if you will.
My charm had no effect. The demon of due process? Not sure I see that one.
Now, you little scamp.
Yes?
I trust you know why you're here.
Bags.
Bags? Oh, that tricksy tanuki. Try the noodle stand, and go enjoy a big bowl of tanuki tail noodles while you're at it.
Everyone's a comedian. No, I meant your bags. The ones under your eyes. You must have trouble sleeping. Here, this charm will keep Azuki Arai away.
Azuki Arai, the yokai that washes Azuki beans. The only thing needing washing will be your father's neck before I take his head clean off.
Azuki Arai often keeps people up at night with the noise he keeps making washing beans. But if you stick this charm on your forehead, you won't hear him anymore.
Is that so? Well, thank you.
Looks like Prosecutor Blackquill got more than he bargained for. They're bad enough alone, but together, these two are just plain creepy. The fact that she's not scared of him.
Your testimony, if you please, Miss Tenma. Specifically, whether or not you saw Tenma Taro when you discovered the crime scene.
What Jinxie saw. Did I see Tenma Taro in the Fox Chamber? Well, when I opened the door, I saw... Yes, I remember now. Yokai! Yokai! Right there in that room. She sees demons and shit. You think she's afraid of... She's afraid of the judge! So there was a yokai at the scene of the crime. Lots and lots of them. Wait, more than one yokai? Did Tenma Taro happen to be among them? I don't know. I just don't know. All I know is the room was swimming in yokai. Kasha, Nurikabe, Iseto Taisho. Yeah! They were all there.
Well, this is an unexpected turn of events. We've gone from no yokai to a flood of them.
This is ludicrous. You would have this court listen to this delusional little scamp's testimony.
Ah!
Hold it!
Your Honor, I believe her memory is simply clouded by fear. But a quick therapy session should ease her mind. With the court's permission, of course.
What a fabulous idea. Please proceed, Miss Sykes.
Let's just have therapy mid-court. You're sure you know what you're doing, Athena? She's obviously not herself. The trauma of discovering the crime scene and fear of testifying have dazed and confused her. A regular ball of confusion. But my analytical psychology-based approach should be able to help.
Any objections, Prosecutor Blackquill? Shall we let Miss Sykes proceed?
Athena be like, let's take ibuprofen together in court.
It makes no difference to me. Do as you will, but I doubt we shall get any viable testimony. She'd be better served by bearing witness to the sword skills I forged in a distant land.
I'll show you. Did I see Tenma Taro in the Fox Chamber? Well, when I opened the door, I saw... Yes! Now I remember! Yokai! Right there in that room! Found something! Looks like an out-of-control emotion. Athena? What exactly are we looking at here? Oh, this? It's one of Widget's functions. Right here you can see images and emotions extracted from the witness's voice. Whoa! You mean that little thing can do all this? Pretty cool, huh? And here I thought it was just some kid's toy. Unfortunately, all I'm getting is an overflow error right now. See how sad is brightly lit there at the bottom left? She's under an uncontrollable amount of distress, which is masking her other emotions. It It seems the sheer terror she experienced has made her a confused mess. So, all those yokai she thinks she saw are the product of rampant emotions? Yes, that's right. Her fear is instilled in her hallucinations and false memories. She's seeing normal, everyday objects as monsters in her mind. It's a form of schizophrenic hallucination brought on by emotional trauma. And the trauma in Jinxie's case is fear. So she was, and still is, seeing ordinary objects as yokai. We'll have to find the root cause of her extreme fear before I can treat it. Now, let's see. Apollo, can you point out the yokai in the Wheel of Fire? She seems particularly terrified of that one. Start by probing the L button. Next, point to what's causing Jinxie's out-of-control emotion. Finally, hit probe again with the X button to try and get the heart of the matter. Okay, let's give this a try.
Got it!
Jinxie, what's the name of that yokai on a Wheel of Fire? That's Akasha, a yokai that steals the bodies of the recently deceased. I bet it came to steal the Eldermans. It's almost creepy how well that fits the actual situation. Exactly! It's a form of hallucination where the patient can't see things for what they are. There must be something at the scene of the crime that she's mistaking for Akasha. Apollo, you need to point out what she thought was a yokai in the Wheel of Fire. I think I know the answer now. Jinxie, that wasn't Akasha you saw. Could you probably mistaken this for Akasha?
Take that!
The light fixture? This one right here. It has a flame design and is up there on the ceiling. There was never a yokai on a Wheel of Fire. The Kasha you saw was just a light fixture. Ah! That's one memory back to normal. Nice job! Now that you've gotten the hang of it, it should be a cinch to point out the rest. Jinxie, what about this white wall-like monster? That's Nurikabe. It's a wall monster that blocks your way or leads you astray. That's not a yokai, Jinxie. It's a folding screen. And this raccoon dog isn't a tanuki monster. It's just a statue of one. Eek! And look! My Switch fell out of its dock. These are just coffee cups. And this right here, it's nothing more than a fox statue. Ah! I don't know what I was thinking. You did it, Apollo. Her extreme fear is under control now. You really did it. It was just my eyes playing tricks on me. There weren't any yokai after all. Hi, I hope you're having a good break. See? A clear-cut statement. That's the power of my psychology and your intuition, Apollo. And just like we thought, there never really were any yokai in the Fox Chamber.
Right. There never really were any yokai there. So, The defense is asserting the exact opposite of their original assertion.
Wait. Jinxie? What about Tenmataro?
There wasn't anyone there dressed up as Tenmataro or any other yokai either. I remember it clearly now.
You've
Gotta
be
joking!
Order! Order in the court!
I think we just dug our own grave.
Allow me to push you in. It's the least I can do.
Ah, no! Apollo, can I interrupt your freakout for just a minute? I'm still picking up some noise. It's an unexpected emotion.
Does that mean Jinxie hasn't remembered everything yet?
Exactly. We should be able to get something else out of her. I'll enter the new information we have and run an update.
Wait, what am I supposed to do?
Try to find the emotions that contradict her statements.
So if I find a contradictory emotion, I should point it out?
That's right, but it's not just contradictory emotions you should be on the lookout for. You should also keep an eye out for sudden changes in an emotion's intensity. Her emotions might get stronger or weaker as you move from statement to statement. It's important to compare how the same emotion changes throughout the testimony.
Contradictory emotions and changes in intensity. Okay, I'll give it a shot. Ace Attorney, I have a crush on Phoenix and Edgeworth. Get in line. Everyone else does too. But welcome in, Cello. Hope you're doing well. I do not remember you. I have memory loss, so that could be it. Was it recently? You followed like a few days ago. Tenmataro in the Fox Chamber. Scared and I entered the room. My legs gave out and I fell to the floor. There in the Fox Chamber, I saw the alderman dead on a table and Papa collapsed in a chair.
Got it!
This seems like an unnatural reaction.
Really? Because I don't see it that way.
So it isn't unexpected given her testimony.
Hello? Is there anybody in there? Just nod if you can hear me.
Yes, there is someone at home, and that someone is gonna try that again. I don't really know what emotion I'm looking for here.
really know what I'm looking for, because they all look right.
Got it!
At least I'm not, like, losing HP or anything.
Got it! Got it!
Alright, if anyone has any hints, I'll take a hint. But... it's about how emotions change over time. Look for spikes.
Got it!
No, I still don't get it. It looks like it's the same size every time.
Got it!
Okay, Relix. I'll let you give me the answer, so that way I can try understanding why it's the answer. They keep changing? It looks the same to me. Oh, okay, wait. I think I got it.
Got it!
There we go. The amount of fear you felt is rather low, despite your legs having been giving out from fright. Could something have lessened your fear? Actually, I did experience a sudden burst of courage in that moment. You did? Where did it come from? Let me think. Oh, it was Mama. I suddenly felt as if she was there with me. Okay, I'll enter. Sudden burst of courage. Now let's see. Ah, look! Apollo, the noise is all gone! Jinxie seems to have remembered everything now.
Sudden burst of courage. Now, where could that have come from? Jinxie, was there something that gave you a sudden burst of courage?
Yes, there was. But, I realized I'd done something naughty when I thought about it later. Any idea what could have given Jinxie that courage?
Well, there is one piece of evidence that comes to mind. I wonder if she saw something like it at the scene of the crime. Jinxie, did your sudden burst of courage have anything to do with this piece of evidence that I'll show after I save my game?
Take that!
Jinxie, you didn't happen to see a Ninetales flower there at the scene, did you?
The demon lawyer strikes again. I can't hide anything from you. I found a small case with a picture of a Ninetales flower on it. I liked it so much I kept it.
You what? You can't remove evidence from a crime scene?
That's right, young lady. Removing evidence is a big no-no. Now, the witness will produce said evidence this instant.
Sorry.
It does seem to be some sort of case. Oh, look! Something slid out. It appears to be a key.
Might I have a look, your baldness? This is none other than the master key to QB Manor.
Are you certain of this, Prosecutor Blackquill?
It matches the serial number of the key that went missing after the murder.
A master key that went missing? Why don't I like the sound of that?
Our little scamp here has stumbled upon an article of unimaginable consequence.
It's a little melodramatic, don't you think?
Heed these words, for I shall say them but once. The sole key to the Fox Chamber has been in this little scamp's constant possession. Ergo, she was the sole person who could use it before, during, and after the murder. Which leaves the master key as the only other key that could have opened the chamber. But this master key was found in a room that had been locked by this girl.
And your point is?
Until Jinxie Tenma opened the Fox Chamber with her key. The room had been locked tight from the outside world. And there was no one else in there save the victim and his killer. I trust you have figured this out for yourself by now.
A killer other than Mayor Tenma himself would be utterly inconceivable.
No!
Objection!
How could this happen?
And the defense's assistant will refrain from growling her frustrations.
Athena, are you alright?
Ugh! I know Mayor Tenma's innocent, but there's nothing we can do!
This sucks.
Sykes, Dono. Allow me to put you out of your misery.
Can I decline your offer?
Abandon your client and your misplaced faith in him. Let the relief of a clear head and a clean conscience come rushing in. That will make the inevitable guilty verdict far easier to accept.
Great. Now he's playing Simon Says with us.
Well, he's not gonna fool us with his stupid mind games. Athena, don't fall for his tricks. No, I'm the one who's dazed and confused. I can't even think straight. Hey, are you all right? She fell right into his trap.
Now I suggest you make a mad dash from the courtroom and into the wild blue yonder. Only by running shall your mind be cleared and your conscience cleansed.
All right, I'll be back in 10. Stay with me, Athena. Don't let yourself be twisted by that samurai. Apollo?
Mr. Justice, I heard the word objection, but what is it you object to?
Uh-huh. Oh, right. That objection was more of a reflex than anything else. Though I was hoping something would come to me while I was trying to stop Athena.
The court is waiting, Mr. Justice. Though as it stands now, I'll be forced to declare your client guilty and your legal skills suspect if this is. Now, do you have anything that could overturn the prosecution's case?
Well, actually I do. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine! Apollo, you have to do something more than your cords of steel, don't you? Not really, but we'll be fine. Oh, he's fine, all right. Welcome in. But I've got absolutely nothing, but that's never stopped me before. I have to explain how the real killer could have escaped that locked room. Because it's all over if I don't. Apollo, this calls for a new approach. Try to think outside the box. Or in this case, inside the box. And what a doozy that locked room is, too.
Well, Mr. Justice, do you have anything that can counter the prosecution's argument?
You bet I do! The real killer must have escaped from the locked room one way or another. Tank Browse, thank you so much for 2 months in the Superstar Sub Club with Prime. I appreciate it. Thank you for producing me, Hirodusa-san. Or, in Blackwell's case,
Producer Dodo. Vague conjecture shall only earn you a taste of my blade, Justice Dono.
Time to do or die, literally.
The defense will now explain how it would be possible to escape the locked room.
You sure about this, Apollo? Can you really explain what happened? I'm fine. We just need to think this whole escaping a locked room thing over from the beginning. So, let's see. If the killer had escaped, how could they have done so? The choices are pretty limited. The room has a window, but it doesn't open wide enough for anyone to get through, and there's a sheer cliff outside. As for the air vent, it's up too high, and there's nothing you could stand on to reach it. And needless to say, the forbidden chamber wouldn't open no matter what we did, so that's out. Yeah, and that's why we gotta keep the solution simple. Like they say, simple is best. The game's art style's so charming. Yeah, this is the first game they did in 3D, but it's pretty, like, even though the models aren't like motion captured or anything, the motions are just so like wacky and goofy that there's so much charm to it. We need to rule out all of the absolutely impossible escape routes. Then whatever's left just might lead us to how the Fox chamber was compromised. Ooh, ooh. Your Honor, the defense proposes that the killer escaped through here. The front door.
Take that!
The hallway door? Well, yes, I suppose that would be the only way out.
It would appear you've already forgotten. The only available key until Jinxie Tenma came on seat was within that locked room. How would one exit the Fox chamber and then lock it without a key?
I should have seen this coming. Remember, Apollo, keep it simple. Simple, right. Could understand if the killer had exited the room with the key, but...
Well, Mr. Justice, the prosecution has some fine Japanese steel waiting unless you explain yourself quickly.
I'm fine. I can explain myself. The reason the Fox Chamber's hallway door was locked because... Mayor Tenma locked it himself after the killer fled the scene. Just in case the killer decided to return. That would explain why the room was locked.
Yes, I see. Then again, wouldn't Mayor Tenma have mentioned that himself?
Oh, maybe it slipped his mind because of that blow to his head? Ah!
I've already considered and investigated such possibilities.
You have?
The mayor's fingerprints were not found on the door or its doorknob. The only fingerprints belonged to the alderman. Ergo, the mayor did not so much as touch the door.
That was a long explanation for me to just lose my... Wow. Boom. It locked on its own? Maybe the door closed accidentally, on its own. Ah!
The killer will never be identified if we attribute key moments to mere chance. Perhaps that spear just happened to fly off the wall and impale the alderman, too. And perhaps that sedative just happened to be making its way into his coffee. Mere chances could explain any number of things.
Right, that was a lot faster. What if the room was locked from the outside? In other words, the killer took the key through the hallway door and locked it. Ouch!
Consider this. The master key was found inside the tightly locked Fox chamber. Any assertion that the key was removed from that room is a blatant contradiction of fact.
Exiting the room before locking the door would require taking the key outside, but the key was found inside the room, which does seem like a contradiction. If only we could explain both. Like how the key could be inside the room and be used to lock the door from the outside.
Well, let's see if the defense can respond before Prosecutor Blackquill draws his sword. How could the master key be at the crime scene despite the room being locked tight?
Oh god, it's like a multi-part, multiple choice question. If the door had been rebuilt after the key was placed in the room, that would explain how it got there.
And the original door? Where did that disappear to?
Well, I guess it's highly unlikely that the door was rebuilt in the first place, so... Ah! I'm not on my A game, oh my god. Maybe someone threw it in from the hallway when Jinxie opened the door?
Perhaps we should ask the little scamp herself. When you opened the Fox chamber, did you witness anyone throw the master key inside?
Sorry, I didn't see anyone else there.
Oh.
What a pity. Or perhaps you intend to accuse the witness of murder.
You leave me no choice.
Oh, what? I keep on flopping! I'm flopping! What if someone threw it into the room from outside? You know, something like go out the hallway door, lock the room, and then toss the key back in through the window? That would explain how the master key could be inside the locked room.
And where would you throw it from? Is a cliff outside the Fox chamber's window?
There is a cliff. Oh, my bad.
Throwing the key in from there is an impossibility.
The vent, the vent, the vent, the vent. Oh, right. Ah!
I wonder if the key could have been tossed in from somewhere other than the window.
Somewhere other than the window. The air duct. Man, figuring these out like a locked door mystery is always so hard.
The air vent?
Yes, the window may be out of the question, but the air vent's not.
Oh, that's right! The Fox chamber's air duct leads out into the hallway.
That's right. The real killer entered the air duct from the vent outside the Fox chamber. Then dropped the key into the room through the vent inside the chamber.
Ugh. That's preposterous!
Ooh, that explains how the key got in there after it was used to lock the door perfectly.
Mr. Justice, I'm afraid I'm a bit confused.
Don't worry. I'll explain it so even Your Honor can understand. First, the real killer, disguised as Tenma Taro, murdered the alderman in the Fox chamber. Then, they fled the room through the hallway door and locked it. Next, they entered the air duct from the vent outside in the hallway. Finally, the killer tossed the key into the room through the air vent in the ceiling there. This is so much work. All that was left to do was to go back through the duct and flee the manor. Well, Your Honor, could that be any clearer?
Amazing! Even I could follow that.
The judge seems really pleased.
That explains everything. The real killer was someone dressed up like Tenma Taro. And there was someone else other than the mayor and the alderman in that room. Hey, it looks like that lawyer is beating the jailbird prosecutor. Wow, that was a total turnabout. The massive forehead of his seems so much more attractive now. Oh my god, give me a second.
Order! Order, I say!
Now that I proved a possible third party, I don't see how our client could be guilty.
Silence.
A valiant effort, Justice Dono. But your final thrust missed its mark.
Huh?
Both that little scamp and the tricksy Tanuki saw the yokai after it left the room. But then what? Did that irksome yokai simply go through the foyer and waltz outside of the front door?
That's exactly what happened! The killer fled from the— Ouch!
But that is impossible. Without being spotted by the foyer's security camera, that is. The electric eye here would have captured any pesky little yokai trying to escape. However, there is no sign of Tenmataro anywhere inside the security footage.
What?
Save the foyer entrance, there's no other way to flee the manor, is there?
I don't feel so good. Wait! I believe there is one other way out to escape besides the foyer entrance. There's a large window in the foyer. It's possible to escape through there without being seen by the security camera. Everyone's knocking on my door today. Hey, you're right.
Silence.
Must I point out every crucial detail to the defense? It seems your lack of not only brains, but investigative prowess to boot. That is the cliffside of the manor. The only killer escaping that way would be a dead one.
No! Wait, so the killer didn't escape out the foyer window? What the heck, right?
Huh. I suppose your next proposal is the killer sprouted wings and flew off into the sunset?
That would mean the killer really is a yokai. If only we had some sort of evidence that could point to a flying killer. Who's saying we don't? As completely far-fetched as it might be. What? You're saying you can prove that the killer can fly? Whoa, I thought I was the one with the cords of steel.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Your Honor.
Take that!
Take that! Take a look at this special edition paper. Tenmataro, real or flight of fancy? What does this article prove, Mr. Justice? Oh.
What does this article prove, Mr. Justice?
The photo in that article was taken shortly after the murder. Maybe the yokai in that photo is the killer shortly after they fled out of the window.
Mr. Justice, you're not seriously suggesting.
Oh, I'm serious. I mean, it all adds up. The killer, disguised as Tenmataro, flew away. You know, by some way or another.
Silence.
Is your brain. It is your brain that has flown the coop. That image is naught but trick photography or some other form of artifice.
Okay then, how about the Tenma Taro figure Mr. Filch saw? It just vanished into thin air?
No, there's a rational, common-sense explanation for that. That infernal yokai our tricksy Tanuki witnessed never reached the entrance. He, or should I say she, turned back before the camera's electric eye.
She? I don't like where this is going one bit.
Now, the fact that we know the yokai had come from the Fox Chamber means that it was likely either Mayor Damien Tenma or his daughter, Jinxie Tenma. However, we know that Mayor Tenma was already unconscious at the time.
Not good. Not good at all.
Do you understand the gravity of the situation now, Justice Donal? The falsified yokai remnants and the appearance of Tenma Taro were the work of one individual. And that individual is none other than Jinxie Tenma!
Ah, no!
Order! Order! The defense will stop competing for the greatest freakout ever!
The little scamp was no doubt simply trying to protect her father. And it's no wonder that her superstitious mind conjured up this mad masquerade.
Prosecutor Blackwell's assertion makes perfect sense to me. It's far more convincing than saying the killer escaped by flying out of the window.
Did you truly believe this could end any other way?
Did we fall right into his trap? What do we do now, Apollo? Our case no longer stands without a real yokai. If only we had one.
Bailiff, seize her! It is time I interrogated her as a samurai of yore would.
Hold it!
Mayor Tenma!
This farce is over. How does it feel seeing your own daughter accused of a cover-up most foul? Tenma Toro's true identity is... Now, Mr. Mayor. It would be futile at this point to claim you were the yokai. After all, you'd been knocked out cold by a blow to the skull. Slipping into a yokai costume and roaming around the manor would be all but impossible. Consider this well. As it stands, your daughter will be arrested for obstruction of justice. But if you confess, the prosecution would be willing to overlook her little yokai farce.
Confess? The defendant intends to confess?
Wait! Apollo! Prosecutor Blackwell's up to his mind games again! Mayor Tenma, no! Don't fall for his twisted words! If you're sent away for murder, Jinxie will be left all alone!
The real killer is...
Mayor Tenma's gonna confess unless we do something! I can't prove how the real killer could have flown away.
Look upon me in despair, for ripe is the time for my return.
Uh-oh. I should watch what I wish for.
Foolish mortals! I am Tenma Taro, the yokai you seek!
Mayor Tenma?
Silence! I am Tenma Taro, freed from the bonds binding me to the Forbidden Chamber. Behold, the return of the Demon King!
What the? Demon King?
Well, then, I think it's time for me to take a vacation!
A lot of birds in this case.
The witness will, he will explain himself. Are you saying that you're Tenma Taro, the yokai we've been chasing this whole time?
Indeed, it is I, Tenma Taro, the one whom you seek, come to reveal the truth. This child is Tenma Taro, you say? Ha! What nonsense!
So, Mayor Tenma is a yokai now.
His body is now mine!
So you're saying that Mayor Tenma is being possessed by you? And that the yokai that Jinxie Tenma and Phineas Filch saw, and the one captured in the newspaper photo, those were all you. The accursed power of these warding charms prevents me from revealing my true form.
Your baldness. Can this not be interpreted as an admission of guilt?
Well, a confession by a yokai would be quite unprecedented.
Be that as it may, the defense's case has been overturned.
Huh? What?
You claimed the yokai that little scamp saw was some third party, the true killer. The one who escaped from the locked fox chamber, but it was the accused all along.
Gah!
Ironic, is it not? Your yokai turned out to be real in a manner of speaking. For the Alderman's killer is none other than Mayor Tenma, and the yokai at the scene? That too was Mayor Tenma, or should I say, our dear Tenma Taro. The pieces have all fallen into place.
How so, Prosecutor Blackquill?
It seems I must spell it all out for you. Mayor Tenma killed the alderman in the Fox Chamber, which was locked at the time. He then removed the warding charms from the Forbidden Chamber's door, but then fell unconscious from the blow the alderman had delivered to his head. That's when his daughter Jinxie Tenma stumbled on the scene of the crime. The little scamp fled in terror, whereupon the spirit of Tenma Taro, freed at last from the charm's wording effect, took possession of the mayor. The newly freed Tenma Taro then fled from the Fox Chamber. So you see, the yokai Jinxie Tenma saw was her father possessed by Tenma Taro.
Objection!
But when we arrived on scene, the mayor was found unconscious. How is it possible if he's supposed to be flown out the foyer window?
Then what? You mean to say the maid of the Kyubi Manor, Jinxie Tenma, was Tenma Taro?
Oh. Ah!
That too is easily explained. Flew about for a time, did I, but presently tired, I made for the Forbidden Chamber. But alas, exhaustion took me unawares in the Fox Chamber, and I knew no more.
It would seem the pieces are still in place.
Is Blackquill up to his tricks again?
Hey, I don't know what to say. Is the defendant a real live?
So the rumor about Mayor Tenma's true? I knew yokai were real. You mean he really did kill the alderman just so he could release Tenma Taro?
Order! Order!
Now he's got everyone in the courtroom believing in yokai.
It's Simon Says on steroids! He wants to convict our client any way he can, even if it means blaming a yokai.
The proverbial ducks are all in a row. You should now have no qualms about finding the accused guilty, your baldness.
This is one of the most bizarre cases in my entire career. Otherworldly, in fact. Can yokai even be prosecuted under our legal system?
Objection!
Mayor Tenma is just pretending to be Tenma Taro to protect his daughter. Plus, I already proved how a third party could have escaped from the locked room. A verdict at this point would be premature.
Since both sides have raised valid points, I've no choice but to.
Silence!
This is the dark age of law where defense attorneys are not to be trusted. This is but a ploy to gain time for them to fabricate evidence. How will I sleep tonight? Knowing you will not let the sun rise on the mayor's day of reckoning, Justice Dono.
Objection!
I won't fabricate any evidence.
Silence!
Then prove it by joining me. A night in the clink will ensure you will not succumb to temptation.
How about I just promise not to succumb to anything?
We both have evidence and a confession. The killer is this yokai before us. It is beyond dispute. A guilty verdict is all but...
Ah! What's wrong with him?
Prosecutor Blackquill, we've had enough of your hijinks. The foundation of justice is fair play, and you are in serious violation of that. What in the devil was that? Fool Bright, have you tampered with my shackles in some manner? It seems you found that quite shocking. It's my special Jolt of Justice device. Each press is a shocking reminder to behave. You shall pay for this. I, Simon Blackquill, will... Ah! Your Honor, you need not fear now. I believe Prosecutor Blackquill will remain on his best behavior.
I cannot believe they literally introduced shocked callers in Ace Attorney. They did not just do that. I like Fulbright more now? Oh my god. A bit late with the reassurances, aren't we, Detective?
Well, in that case, this concludes today's deliberations. The prosecution and defense will use this opportunity to further their investigations. This court is adjourned.
The shock shackles! All right. We are done with today's court session. Next week, I'll see you guys for some investigation. Let me go ahead and save my game again. that's going to be it for today. So let's go ahead and close up the game. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you guys had fun playing Ace Attorney with me. Thank you for the stream, thank you for the raid, and thank you for sticking around the entire time, you know, I appreciate it. Great stream, thank you, Princess Emily. You guys are all super, super sweet. Thank you guys for the company. I really appreciated it. I had a lot of fun getting to hang out and play Ace Attorney. I'm looking forward to even more next time. But that's gonna be it for today. If you guys are new here and you guys would like to keep up on all the socials, please feel free to follow on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Atelier Kieran. Don't forget to also join the Discord if you guys are interested if you're over the age of 18. But you guys need to be adults if you're watching my stream. Or else. I'm so happy I got to see my man Blackquill. Very much he's the talk of the town today. Thank you for the stream. Hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm gonna eat my lunch. I'm gonna go on a run to the store. And maybe I might play some more Final Fantasy tonight. I say maybe, but I know that that's actually what's gonna happen. But that's gonna be it for today. Thank you guys for joining me. Let's go ahead and raid. You know what? We haven't seen them in a while. Let's go ahead and raid Unagis, who's currently playing Elden Ring. She has a cute new model. She is a eel-themed magical girl VTuber. So let's go ahead and send some love her way. If you guys can, make sure you send some hiya hey heys. If you have access to the emotes, don't forget to send some blankies as well. And yeah. I'm gonna finish up the schedule. For the people that are playing Final Fantasy XIV, I need to set up a poll so we can decide what day we'll do the raids. If we can do that this week. And then afterwards, I'll get the schedule up and ready for you guys. But until then, take care, guys. Have a great rest of your Sunday. I'll see you guys soon. I love you all. And don't forget, to Kieran! Bye-bye!